Rajiv, do you concur with that? You want to come in? Or you
Yeah,
concur with
no,
that?
I just wanted to say that, in the initial gap of information, and obviously the investigation report will take at least 3 months, social media filled in that gap, and as we now realize, much of it was incorrect. The fact is, I just want to bring one point up, Rajdeep, because we have been talking about engine replacements. Without commenting on this engine replacement, please remember that a leading airline called Indigo had massive issues with Pratt & Whitney engines, and there were technical issues that led to a grounding of dozens of aircraft, perhaps 70 if my memory serves me right. So it's not as if there haven't been issues around Pratt & Whitney supply, and that is the dominant engine maker as far as the Indian context is concerned. We'll have to wait for the investigation report to come out, but it would be absolutely erroneous to sort of say that, this is a India-specific problems, Indians mein hi galti hui. I think that will be very wrong.
No, echoing what Pooja said. So, Rajiv, coming back to the question I asked, is this an aviation issue or is it an Air India issue, leave alone just an India issue?
Look, the fact is India's aviation standards are safety standards as good as anywhere else in the world. I mean, you have to go by hard data here. Our flight safety standards, our pilots, their record is second to none. However, when a major crash like this happens, within 30 seconds of takeoffs, questions will be asked. And I have been attacked for doing a program with a recognized Navy veteran with 20,000 hours of flying time, who came on the internet, took it by storm by initially claiming or hinting at pilot error. We had him on air where he seemed to repeat the same theory, and we were accused of platforming him. Why are you giving him a platform? Let's be honest. In that few days, several experts came across different channels with different theories. The channel doesn't endorse those theories. Individuals will come and have their say. There are experts out there. I don't think it is fair to damn Air India at this stage. It is not fair, therefore, to damn Indian aviation at this stage, and it is certainly not fair to damn Indian pilots at this stage. But I think an incident like this does highlight certain important issues, critical issues, some of which Naga flagged off. I mean, there are issues that Indian pilots are suffering from stress, from the hours of work. Some of them tell me this off record. They can't even speak out because they have gag orders. But these are genuine concerns, and I think they need to be addressed. You cannot just, my worry, I said this at the start, Preeti, month later, we will forget about this. And therefore, once it doesn't make the headlines, who's going to follow up that story? We should, I think, to ask. The black box, as of now, as we speak, is going to the United States for further, and there are excellent organizations who will do the investigation. My point is, I just want the truth to come out. That's all. That's all I'm asking for.
And that's the reason.
On the black box, can I just clarify? There is nuanced clarity that has emerged. Now the government is saying that we will make an attempt to decode it here.
Okay.
In case it doesn't happen here, then it may go overseas.
I have no problem with any of that as long as the truth comes out within a time-bound manner. That's all I'm asking. Do not allow public memory to disappear.
I'm going to bring in Maushmi, but Naga Arjun also has a point to make. Go ahead, Naga.
Preeti, the larger question is, we are not questioning the capability of Indian pilots, Indian infrastructure, Indian aviation. It's about how equipped are you to handle the emergency at that point of time. If I'm stress-free, I would handle it within a couple of seconds. If I have more mental stress, I would take 10 seconds to 12 seconds even to realize that I have an error flashing on my screen. And that 10 seconds is crucial in aviation. And it can't be missed. That's exactly what we are saying. Pilots who fly red-eye flights, come back home, sleep at 10 o'clock, evening they're again called. The minimum rest period is only given. Where is the rest for pilots, including the cabin crew? They have been flying around the clock. And of course, they will be affected to handle emergency situations. That's the pain question that we have to answer. But no, the DGCA doesn't pull off both the airlines. Both airlines are exploiting the crew. And that's the big question we have to answer. Of course, machines fail.
Right.
But are the humans who fly this are equipped? To be honest, I have my own friends who are captains in both the airlines. They cry to me overnight saying, please someone put our point of view across. They have been crying. They miss their families. A lot of people, in fact, bribe the recruiting, rostering department so that they can at least pay bribes and get out of the situation at that point of time. They don't want to fly in a situation when the father is admitted to a hospital. They're still pulled out to fly. There's so much of mental stress. I think that's the basic question that we have to address today. Our pilots and the cabin crew, are in a good mental health condition to
I
tackle
want to bring
the
in
situation.
Maushmi, but I have an unpopular opinion in all of this. We can keep going on and on why, blame pilots and all of that, but there is no holy grail in an accident. You've got to address each and every question, and you need to platform each and every opinion if you want to get answers. If you really, truly want to give back even a fig leaf of closure when it comes to the relatives of those who were on board the ill-fated 171, then there is no holy grail. Pilot error should also be on board for discussion like everything else. You cannot hide behind, oh, we are being attacked in India. I think the only true justice that we will do is to put everything out there. Maushmi.
Preeti, I really feel, and I do agree with you at some point of time, my brother's also a pilot, and I just feel that somewhere, one point that Rajdeep mentioned about the fleeting nature of tragedies. One disaster and you cover it, and it's in the conscience of the nation, you remember and pray for them, and then it's all lost in the following weeks and months. And in my years of journalism, we've covered many tragedies and many disasters, and every time a disaster or a tragedy like this happens, the horror hits home that life is so uncertain, and at that point of time, imagine the plight of the people, so many families and lives destroyed. So there has to be an accountability.
True.
And if
we can, Maushmi, if we can get together and question a locomotive engine driver of a train after an accident, everything has to be on board. It was heartbreaking to see Captain Sabharwal's family, especially after the crash and his funeral. It's heartbreaking. None of us want it. We wish it on no one. But what I don't get is, oh, how dare you question pilot error? It's in the gamut of investigation, and why shouldn't it be? And if there is somebody who is platformed who raises a question on that, then why not? Because there are multiple theories at work. Nobody's saying it was pilot error, but pilot error could very well be a part of it.
I'm with one difference. I don't think we should come to conclusions.
Of course, who's coming? There are multiple theories. Multiple theories.
So I think we should be willing to accept multiple theories without sort of waving the national flag. But at the same time, we should be very cautious. My point is, I just had the Parliamentary Standing Committee panel report on Ministry of Civil Aviation. It raises several issues.
Yes.
Look at the vacancies, for example, in the Bureau of Civil Aviation Security. It's operating has a vacancy rate of 35%. The Udan scheme, very ambitious, good scheme. You need many more airports in this country. It's designed to connect 120 new destinations, budget slashed by 32%. These are all questions to be asked. At the end of the day, asking questions is all I'm saying.
I also feel that the reason this discussion is happening and it's got this international coverage is because there is a class issue. When there is a train accident or a stampede of a certain nature,
100% I agree with that.
Here there are international passengers who were involved. There is a certain rich class, so to say, that can afford even now with the flight tickets. And because they have died, we are having that discussion. Again, when we talk about accountability, it shouldn't be just about the aviation sector. It has to be whether the rot is at the top, like Rajdeep is mentioning. I want to take again from there. Institutions like DGCA, Bureau of Civil Aviation Security, Airport Authority of India, according to the parliamentary panel report he's talking about, has vacancies. How can you have vacancies for so long, despite it's being flagged by the committee, when security should be a top priority? Why shouldn't it be filled at the earliest?
I want to ask then, what about political accountability? What about political accountability? You have netas making reels. Isn't the bigger question that, there was a point of time in politics where there was a train accident and the railway minister would resign. The larger question, if we don't address the elephant in the room.
I don't know, Maushmi, are you saying that every time there's an air crash, the civil aviation minister of the country has to resign? That's a very dangerous argument to make in my view.
Absolutely.
Right?